The first shit started when the engine flipped over in the cargo box and oil poured into the cargo box. Had to make a mount. Next, I changed the turn signal lever. Instead of the ugly late plastic lever, there is a metal one from the first editions. The broken heating mode switch was replaced with an old, new one. And that was also the end of the previous season. To relieve the pressure on the tires, I built them on blocks. In the winter, I continued to collect the tools provided in the car package. Wrench, tire pressure gauge, tire pump. It will probably be the most difficult with this tool bag itself. I will visually restore some, and leave others as they are.
The start after 6 months of winter was nothing convincing. There were problems with one of the spark plugs. Problem with carburetor gaskets. There was no fuel coming from the fuel tank, which seemed strange. In the fall, the car was parked with a sufficient fuel reserve. I blame the fuel suction pipe in the fuel tank. I think it is rusted and does not reach the fuel in the tank. What a foolish assumption it turned out to be. There was simply no fuel in the fuel tank. There were many holes in the fuel tank itself and the fuel slowly leaked out during the winter. Fuel tank repaired with liquid metal. Hopefully it will be enough for some time. Almost like new. A new tap for the fuel tank won't hurt either. Another problem turned out to be with the fuel gauge. It was installed from another car. There is a certain amount of fuel in the fuel tank of every car, which remains when the critical fuel level lamp lights up. Such as a reserve to go until filling. The longest one was installed in the tank. Therefore, the critical fuel level light came on later than with the standard shorter one, basically when there is no fuel left. But it starts to show half the amount even when there is barely a minimum. Here, the sawed-off GAZ 5201 leveled off. Quick test for both the fuel gauge itself and the indicator. And now you can focus on the next fight. For the second generation radiator grille, which should be installed on my car of the year of manufacture, the condition is quite bad. It would be more reasonable to look for another, but considering their ages, the situation will all be very similar to this one. There are deformations, cracks, and many areas affected by rust. It would be best to send it to sandblasting. But it is difficult to find a suitable one. Mostly all are engaged in industrial processing of bulky metals. But such rust-damaged metal may not withstand it. Therefore, an angle grinder, chemical anti-rust agents, welding and putty will be used. As before with the fuel tank, it will be enough for a while. The biggest rust, the most difficult access to the damaged areas. But this dirtiest job is done. Hopefully the chemical anti-rust treatment will take care of the rest. And we'll be able to start welding. The first to be welded is the bumper molding. Primer is also applied. And the spare wheel bracket. All necessary parts processed and ready for installation. Tire pump serviced. Ready to go and freshly painted. Will be able to take his place in the car of a truck. I will also end this video on that positive note. Thanks for watching this far. More of the same boring videos will be available on this channel. Don't miss.